What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking Master League. So what is Master League for those of you that don't know? Essentially it's a career mode, an offline career mode where you take the control of a club and you could redesign their badge, their kits every season. You pick which club you want to go to. You could play as a real squad or make your own one, such as PES United there. And you take the reins of it and do all the negotiations, all the transfers, right? Now I've done a video on this statement that they released, or the job listings that they've released. The thing that interests me here, and I was intrigued about to do this video, is they talk about multiple game modes, right? And updating them, creating game flows, expansion and redesigns of databases and management databases. And when you think back to PES 2013, which was probably my favorite Master League, right? It had a couple of things I didn't like in it, you know, such as boot upgrades and stuff like that. We'll talk about how they've brought that back in now to eFootball. But I like PES 2021 as well, where you could create your manager or pick a custom manager or create whatever you wanted. And you genuinely, over the years, you could design whatever you wanted. You know what I mean? You could do like a classic Master League, create all the players in edit mode, create all the players, all their stats, all their appearances, and make it, you know, as much as your imagination wanted. You could create your own experience within the game. Now, back in 2023, right, which seems so long ago, they did talk about Master League and co-op here and edit mode. However, they'd never mentioned anything about bringing this out, which was My League or Strike Arena. So it's definitely safe to say that they have changed, right? They did add this My League, which is basically a career mode light. You pick a team and you obviously can go through it. You have their kits, you have the standings, you have goal scorers, top assists, you have a trophy celebration at the end of it. And I get what they were trying to do with My League. I think it was kind of like a stopgap while they decided, what are we actually going to do with Master League? One of the biggest issues with My League is that you can use any player that you want. You don't have to use Celtic players if you pick Celtic. So you could, use Celtic players if you set that yourself, or you self-inflict that rule on yourself, and you can sign all these players and you can use a full Celtic squad and treat it as an offline My League, Master League, career mode experience. But it's very limited, boys. It's very limited. And this is why I was a bit surprised that they added this brand new AI event mode, or AI mode, where you're playing a proper division system and you've got proper rewards for it, finally. Now, it's not quite on the level of, old school Master League. And we'll get to that in a second about a couple of similarities between this mode that they've added and, older modes that we've already touched on. But there are some nice rewards. You're also able to push and get, the badges that you can get in Division 1 playing against normal players or PvP and normal matches, normal online matches. But yeah, there's a lot to like about this going. And you can see here that it is cross-platform as well. People are already pushing rank in this. It has a tier system and then a ranking system. So tier up to Division 6 where you're playing against the AI. And you might notice and keep in mind that this squad that we're looking at here are going to pop up in about 2 minutes again on this video that we're talking about, right? This is the classic, old school, reimagined PES United, right? And this is quite cool, I think, in my opinion. Also, one of the biggest features of this is the actual feature that's been in eFootball for ages, is the ability that when you're playing against certain AI matches or when you're playing in certain AI modes, you can simply, jump in and jump out whenever you want. So you can go from controlling the game yourself to actually being the manager and just sitting back, chilling and doing the tactics formation and letting your team actually play for you, like Football Manager. So it's interesting. With the cards at the moment, I don't expect them to veer away from the cards. The cards have been super popular. A lot of people are loving the cards. A lot of people are loving signing and playing with their new favorite players or old style players. And Master League, I think that's kind of the biggest issue at the moment, is how to integrate it in. So get in touch in the comments below if you have an idea how to integrate it. Football Manager has been cancelled. EAFC continuously gets panned for its offline career mode. And I definitely think that PES, going back to its roots, or eFootball taking those roots and planting a new tree, could be absolutely insane. I mean, the potential of the mode is huge, especially now with Football Manager that was cancelled. Konami could bring out Master League this year and it could absolutely bang. Right, I know people will say, yeah, look, Master League, it's offline. You do need to have some sort of integration in it. But honestly, man, some of my favorite memories are playing Master League, especially PES 5, PES 6. You have PES here as well, which was PES 15. I actually really like this Master League for some reason. I don't know why, I just have fond memories of it. Yes, the transfer market was all over the place. There was a couple of bugs in it, but I did like it. Now, the biggest probably key bit of information that we've had is you'll notice the player that's taking the penalty is called Castolo. If this guy is not familiar to you or you don't know who he is, he's probably the most famous PES player of all time, right? He was a default player that you started with Master League. So you could pick Manchester United, Real Madrid, and have a full squad with them. But there was also a default squad within the game that it gave you as well, called PES United. And you can see all the players here. So you've got Espimes, you've got Ardaz, you've got Minanda, and of course you have Castolo, and Irov in goals, Jarek, Stremmer, Dodo. You've got a load of them. And there was subs as well. But this is probably the most famous squad. They have actually recreated this in eFootball. Right, Castolo takes the penalty, and that's the rest of the squad. But yeah, that's probably the only sign that we have. But what I want to ask you guys is, right, are we going to have to wait until another game comes out, such as FIFA 2K, or would you guys actually be interested in Master League? I'm very interested to know what you guys think. Are you happy to just, would you prefer to have more depth, more content in Dream Team, or would you like an actual career mode that you could play offline with a little bit of integration with the cards as well, or how they do it? I'm open to ideas. I'm open to actually think what you guys would like, and I'm intrigued to see what you guys would like. I will talk to you later. I hope you enjoyed this video.